Good morning. I'm Brad Hull. I'm an attorney with Kevin Hickey Law Partners. I'm here with Kevin Hickey.
Good morning.
This is the first in a video series that we're going to try to keep doing on an ongoing basis here called Saturday Morning Coffee with Counsel. The idea behind this is pretty simplistic, and the name suggests what it is. It's Coffee with Counsel. Our hope is that as you're scrolling through Facebook on Saturday morning or whatever social media you look at, you find us and share a cup of coffee with us, and we'll be putting on a video here that will hopefully be informative and somewhat entertaining and help you, and you can go on about your day. Want to encourage everyone to give us feedback on this. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, suggest topics, ask questions, things of that nature, so we can make this better going forward and also help you a little bit more. The first topic is one that is kind of the bread and butter of our firm and something that Kevin is telling me he's done over 1,000 divorces, so we wanted to stick with that. And the topic here is filing for divorce. So Kevin, you hear people say they're filing for divorce. What's that mean in Arkansas?
Well, filing for divorce is actually the process of filing the paperwork with the circuit clerk for the divorce. And it's called a complaint for divorce. It is actually a lawsuit, so if you've heard of lawsuit or litigation, that is what you're actually doing when you file it. And complaint, it's an old word, but that's still what we use as far as describing the papers that are actually filed with the clerk. It's basically informing the court that you are asking for a divorce.
And it's, like you said, it's a lawsuit. You're not asking for damages, but you're asking for a divorce. So you file
Right.
it the same way with the court as if you were like filing a negligence claim, pretty much.
That's right. It's just like any other lawsuit, except you're not going to be dealing with damages. You're going to be dealing with issues that would surround marital things. You're going to be dealing with custody, visitation, property division, alimony, child support, those kinds of things. Those are the things you're going to be dealing with when you have a divorce lawsuit.
What do you put in the complaint for divorce?
Well, you have to show that you are a resident of the state. Many states require you to be a resident for 6 months or longer. For Arkansas, it's 60 days. You have to show that you've been a resident of Arkansas for at least 60 days. So you have to put that in the complaint. You have to put your date of separation when you've separated from your spouse. And you also have to talk about grounds. You may have heard the phrase irreconcilable differences. Basically, we can't get along anymore, so we want a divorce. Arkansas still requires you to show grounds for the divorce, so you have to show a little bit more than you just can't get along.
So the term that comes up with that a lot is fault. Somebody will say we have a no-fault divorce. In Arkansas, can you have a no-fault divorce?
You can have a no-fault divorce. You have to be separated for 18 months. Most people do not stay separated that long before they come in to ask for a divorce. So usually you have to go the route of showing grounds, showing fault.
Is it a high burden to get the grounds?
Not usually, and many times both sides at that point are wanting the divorce. Not always, but most of the time. So fighting over grounds a lot of times ends up not happening.
Once you file your complaint for divorce, what's the next step?
Once you file it, you have to let the other side know that you've filed for divorce. So your divorce paperwork will show a plaintiff and a defendant, and if you're the one filing, you're going to be the plaintiff, and your spouse will be the defendant, just like you've seen maybe on another kind of lawsuit. You then have to serve those papers on the defendant. You can't just go hand them to them. You have to use either a process server or the sheriff, or you can send them restricted delivery certified mail.
After they get the papers, they have, what do? They file an answer. How long do they have to do that?
They have 30 days to file an answer from when they receive the paperwork, whether it's by process server, sheriff, or certified mail. That's when that 30-day clock starts running. And that's when most people, we tell clients usually that's kind of a waiting period. We just need to kind of wait and see what they do. That's when most people get an attorney, and then they have to file their answer with the same circuit clerk where you filed your complaint.
And you mentioned a waiting period, and you were meaning it in a different term, but what is the waiting period in Arkansas after filing for divorce before you can get it finalized?
You can't, that's a good question. You can't file a divorce on, say, Monday and then the next day on Tuesday be divorced. In Arkansas, you have to wait 30 days, and the old phrase from the case law in Arkansas is they call that a cooling off period. They want to make sure people are certain that they want to get divorced. So there's a 30-day waiting period after you file.
Okay, so we're gonna skip some steps here because I know there's a lot more that goes into it. But we filed, answer's been filed. At a certain point, there's a final hearing.
Right.
What's the final hearing in a divorce case?
The final hearing is when the divorce or all the issues in the divorce come before the court. In other words, the judge has been assigned to your case, and that judge will be assigned when you file the complaint for divorce. That judge will set a final hearing, and all the parties and their attorneys have to come to that final hearing, and the judge will make a decision on all the issues in your divorce. Now, many times we settle these cases ahead of time. Sometimes we settle them on the day of the hearing. If that happens, then your final hearing is only going to be several minutes. But final hearings can range anywhere from half a day to a full day to sometimes in real complex divorces it could be several days.
We've both been there.
We've both been there. That's right.
So probably the most common question I get in a consultation for a divorce is, how long is this process going to take from start to finish? So Kevin,
Yeah.
how long is this going to take from start to finish?
If it's an uncontested divorce, which means that both parties have pretty much agreed on all the issues fairly early on in the case, and that means either at the time of filing or not long after, you can be finished in about 60 days or less. But if it's contested or it's very complex, we have to go through a lot of financial issues, or there's children involved and you have custody and visitation issues, you could be looking at several months or a year. Every case is different.
Well, and every court's different too.
Right.
I mean, you have some courts that you can ask for a final hearing date, and within just the next day it seems like you've got it set and it's a month out. And then you have other courts where you go through a process and it may take you a month to get the hearing date, and then it's 5 months out, you know, and all in between. So every court is different too.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And, clients will say, I want a hearing date. I need you to ask immediately. I want it now. We don't determine the hearing dates. That's determined by the judge. Every judge has a docket with all of their cases. They're all very busy. And so it's really determined by each particular judge how soon you can get a hearing.
Well, these were supposed to be short, informative, and entertaining videos. We'll work on the entertainment part. For the short part, we're going to cut it there. Before I wrap up, though, I do want to do a disclaimer. What we're talking about here is general legal information. It's not meant to be legal advice for any one specific case. If you have a case and you have questions, we absolutely recommend you consult with an attorney and talk about your specific case. Again, I want to encourage everyone to give us feedback on these videos, questions, what you like, what you don't like, suggestions, topics, all of that. We want to hear it. We want to make these better and tailor them to the people that are watching them. If you have any questions or other legal issues, you want to reach out to us, kevinhickeylaw.com. You can find us on there. You can call us at our office or visit us at our offices. We have offices in Fort Smith and Rogers, and we're on Facebook. Anything else?
I think that's about it. Oh, other social media.
Yeah, other social media. Because I think
we've got Instagram. Yeah, it's Kevin the Lawyer on Instagram is for our firm, and then Kevin the Lawyer on Twitter. You can even contact us through there. So
yeah, so direct message us there, comment on the videos, all that stuff. You can find us. We're pretty easy to find, but certainly give us a call if you want to talk further. That's all for today. So thank you, and you have a good day.
Thanks. Have a good day.